last thing to talk about before we get our picks ahead of week 13 of the NFL season is the situation in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay run riot in, well, didn't run riot, but they had a good performance apart from Brady falling on his hole 2 or 3 weeks ago in Munich that me and Mark were at. That was incredible. But just a general vibe from the Bucs in the first press conference on the Thursday in Munich to the last press conference, it seemed genuinely like Todd Bowles felt a lot more comfortable about this team and he felt more at peace going into the bye week. They then go and lose last week. And I think more so, and it goes into this whole topic here, Mark, about Mike Evans and Tom Brady. It's really, really interesting. Since that Carolina game in week 7 when the Bucs were atrocious and people were literally questioning Brady's career at that point, do you remember that? I mean, that was insane. Brady has only targeted Mike Evans 49 times. They have connected for a catch in only 27 of those, which goes to a rate of 55%. That is lower than all of 2 of Evans' seasons in the NFL, 2015, 2017. Do we have an issue outside of this in Tampa Bay with Tom Brady and his production? What are your thoughts around the whole Mike Evans situation, the whole Tampa Bay situation? They go into a game against the Saints on Monday night that they simply have to win. It's a huge game now for them Monday night.
Yeah, and look, Tom Brady's best friend has not been the Saints since he moved into the NFC South, and he has had those losses. And I think that my pick was originally to go for the Saints because like they have struggled. And look, I picked against the Bucs the other day against the Browns, and I didn't think it was a question, even though the Bucs were the favorite in that game. It was like they haven't shown us anything in the last few weeks. Like they got across Seattle in an emotional game in Munich. The week before that, they needed like seconds remaining on the clock to get across the LA Rams, who are not good. It's like I don't think it's all been fixed in the Bucs. I think in my own power rankings they're quite high because I expect them to win that division. But I mean, this defense from the Saints, you don't know what version of it's going to show up. But if it's the wrong one for the Bucs, they could like struggle mightily in this game. I think the Mike Evans season is on Mike Evans. Look, we've become used to him. What was it, like 9 seasons in a row with 1,000 yards receiving, that like he was just so automatic. But whenever that drop happened, 3-4 weeks ago for Mike Evans, I just think it showed like, I don't think it's that he's not zoned in, but there's obviously a chemistry lacking. And I think, look, it's very easy to always put it back on the head coach, and I hate leaning into that. But whatever magic that Bruce Arians had, he had it with the Cardinals before the Bucs and before he retired. He had it with that Colts the season that he filled in for a sick Chuck Pagano and he won Coach of the Year. That like Brady was the one that obviously forced Bruce Arians out, and they said that it was because of a different way of liking to do things with Bruce Arians, but his mantra has been to treat them mean, keep them keen. No, that's the wrong saying altogether. But it's love them when they need to be loved, and then be tough on them when time needs to be tough. Todd Bowles obviously wasn't able to do that in New York. I think it's catching up to him again this year. I think that things are going off the rails, and he is there to coach a defense, and he doesn't quite have the offense. It's funny that Byron Leftwich has seemingly done himself out of a head coaching position now next year. There's no word on his offense, but it's like there's struggles all around. But I think chemistry and whatever goes along with it is there, or sorry, is not there. And I don't think it's on Tom Brady. I know people will say, oh yeah, he's passed, whatever. I don't think it's quite there. I think he is an excellent game manager. It's like when we're watching the World Cup and Jordan Henderson is on the field and you're able to see what he does for he's like an extra manager and an extra captain out there. I still think that Tom Brady has that. I think he is at least able to keep players accountable. I think it's the strangest thing in the world what's going on with Mike Evans, but I think it's a Mike Evans problem.
Interesting on Mike Evans and interesting on Jordan Henderson as well as a United fan. Michaela, what's your thoughts on this Evans situation? Is this something that can be picked up over the next few weeks? This is, like, the Bucs have to win this on Monday night. There is no other way about it.
Yeah, they definitely have to win it to keep the playoffs alive, especially for Brady. Just wants to win a Super Bowl every year, as every player does. But it's I don't know, it could be a mix of things. Like last year they were great. The year before that they won the Super Bowl. So to me, I'm like, oh, what's the difference? There's obviously two differences. Bruce Arians is gone, so I think it could be a Todd Bowles issue. But then also Brady, I know Brady's probably the greatest of all time, but I think people have to remember that he's only human and he's obviously going through a difficult personal thing right now. So maybe is that affecting his play or his chemistry or his love for the game a little bit? Like it could be. I think it's either the head coach situation, Tom Brady situation, or maybe a mix of both. I always think every team has like their dodgy or their bogey team. For Liverpool, it's Napoli. Napoli always seem to beat Liverpool in the Champions League every time we play them. And for the Buccaneers and Tom Brady, it's the Saints for some reason. But I do, like I said, I will never bet against Brady. So I do think the Buccaneers have to win this game if they want to push for a playoff spot. They're lucky that the NFC South is such a bad group this year. But like they've lost to the Panthers, and I don't like. But I do think they will beat the Saints. They have to beat them.